Hey there everyone, I'm Richard and this is Cowboy Survival. Today we're going to take a look at how to make your own waxed canvas. Now why would we want to make waxed canvas? Well, I'm going to be making a waxed canvas foraging bag to hang on my 2-inch bush belt. Now I have a foraging bag like this and it fits on my belt. Let me show you how that works. So I'm simply going to take this pouch and I will put it on my belt. And it's got a slit in the back, you can see. So I'll just put my belt through there. Now this says it'll fit up to a 2-inch belt. Now that's critical. It'll fit a 1.5 up to a 2-inch belt. And when it's on your belt and you're out in the woods, you have this on, if you want to start gathering something, maybe you're going to gather tinder, maybe you're going to gather berries for dinner, maybe you're going to gather some nuts, or you see some really cool stones or something you want to gather. Well, you just unfold this, you can take this and push this down. You now have a really nice bag here that you can put stuff in on your hip. And then when you're done, fold it, you just put it back together, you fold this up, and it folds back up, and you just simply snap this down, and you're ready to go. The problem is, this will not fit on my 2-inch bush belt. It just will not fit. I have tried several of these off the internet, and I can't find one that'll actually fit a 2-inch belt. They all say they fit up to 2 inches, but none of them will fit a 2-inch belt. So I decided I needed to make one myself. And so I've actually already made the bag. You'll see that in the next video, if you watch the next video after this one. And this is the bag. It's significantly bigger than the one on the side of my belt, and I'll show you that in the other video. Now, I'm gonna make a leather piece that'll attach this to my belt, and it'll be designed so that it fits my 2-inch bush belt, because the other one simply does not fit the belt. Now, there's 3 basic steps to this. The first step is actually taking your basic denim or duck cloth and turning it into waxed cotton or waxed canvas, because that's going to be much more durable in the field. The second step is going to be actually making the bag, which I've already done. And the third step is going to be actually attaching it to the leather so that you can put it on your belt. In this video, we're going to look at how to take plain old duck cloth that I get at Hobby Lobby and turn it into waxed canvas. So to make our foraging bag, we're basically going to need 3 steps. The first step is going to be waxing our canvas. The next step will be making our canvas drawstring bag. And the third step will be attaching that to a leather device that'll allow us to attach that to our belt. So the first thing we're going to start out with, you're going to need several items to get this canvas waxed. So I've got some duck cloth that I bought down at Hobby Lobby. It's fairly inexpensive. You just got to get the duck cloth. I got the brown because I think I like that color better. You're going to need some wax to put on it. So I've got some beeswax and I've got some other wax, and we're going to talk about the wax again in a moment. You're going to need something to melt the wax. So I've got my little Ozark Trail stove, I've got a propane tank, and I've got a can to melt the wax in. Now, to put the wax onto the fabric, I'm going to need a brush. So I went down and got this little brush down at Dollar Tree. That should be fine. I'm going to need some scissors to cut my cloth. I'm going to need these to pull the can off of the fire. And eventually, we're going to also use an iron or a blow dryer to spread the wax more evenly, but that comes later. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my fabric. Now, I went down to Hobby Lobby and I bought a yard of this duck cloth that they have. Really nice duck cloth. It's nice, it's canvas-like material, and it's a lot of material. A yard is a lot of material, okay? So I'm going to measure this. Now, I want this thing to be, I'm going to want my bag. This bag here is about 9 inches. We're going to measure this. So it's approximately 9 inches or 8.5 inches wide by about 8.5 inches deep. So it's kind of a square bag. I want mine to be a little bigger than this. I'm going to make it about 9 inches wide, and I'm going to make it almost 12 inches deep. So I'm going to have to cut my fabric a little bit different. Now, if I want it 12 inches deep, I'm going to have to cut it 12, and this is about 14 inches, because what I've done is I've measured about 14 inches because I want a little inch on either side. I can cut off the excess later, but I want a little excess to work with. In addition, I'm going to want it to be about, like I said, 9 inches wide, but 9 inches is going to be the front and 9 inches on the back. So that's really 18 inches I'm going to have to measure. So I'm going to have to go out about 18 inches, and then I'm going to have to add I'm going to add 1.5 inches to it. So I'm going to go all the way out to the edge here, which is almost 20 inches. So let's go ahead and just cut this all the way down to that corner. I'm using my scissors that I got for 99 cents down at Harbor Freight. Now these scissors now cost about $1.29. They've gone up in price a little bit, but you can still get them occasionally. If you're a member of Harbor Freight's club, you can get them occasionally for about 99 cents. They still put them on sale, or you can actually get them free sometimes. So that's kind of neat. They do sell these on their dollar days sometimes. I'm just going to cut this down here. Makes a nice, neat cut on it, actually. This will give me enough overlap so that I'll have some overlap to sew, and I can then take this. So this pouch is going to end up being about like this on my side. Now, it won't be quite that deep because I'm going to cut about a couple inches off. So when it's extended out, it'll be about that wide and about that deep on my side. So that's my fabric. Let's get that out of the way. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fabric and I'm going to put it on top of a piece of cardboard. And in addition, I'm going to put some paper towels down underneath it because as I wet this stuff with wax, what's going to happen is the wax will seep through. And so the paper towel will sort of collect this. This is just a piece of cardboard I cut. And so I'll put this on top and you see it. So I will be waxing this whole piece of fabric. I'll wax it both front and back. So the next step is to heat up my wax that I'm going to use on my fabric. So I'm going to use my little stove that I have from Ozark Trail, and I'm going to simply turn that on. I'm going to turn on a pretty low heat. I'm going to step my can up there. Now, you got to be careful with this. What you didn't see is just a moment ago, I was doing this, and I was doing it in this pan right here, and I spilled it all over the table. You can probably see the remnants of the wax. It went everywhere, so I'm having to remelt this stuff. So I've changed vessels. I was doing it in this tin pan. I'm not going to do it in this can. I think this can will work better. I've got a mixture of both paraffin and beeswax. Now, paraffin, you can use all paraffin if you want to, but paraffin dries very, very hard, and you're going to put it on the fabric. That means the fabric will be hard. By adding the beeswax, you're going to soften up the mixture so that when it dries, it won't be quite as hard. It won't be quite as flaky. And periodically, I'm going to take this off and stir it up. I'm not going to try to stir it on the can because I think if I do that, it's going to make a mess. Picking up some little beads here, put those in there. Don't want to waste these beeswax beads. The thing about beeswax, I mean, you could use all beeswax, but beeswax is a lot more expensive than paraffin. So that's why if you use a mix, you can sort of get the same results, but not have so much cost in it. Okay, I think that's probably melted enough. So we'll take that off of there. We'll bring it down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to start painting this onto this fabric. And you'll notice as I do this, it's going to change the color of the fabric. Now I'm simply going to take this, I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to do the other side. And what you'll see it has come through somewhat on this, and that's okay. When we get done, we'll have nice waxed canvas. Now, you don't have to wax your canvas. You could make one of these pouches just using the plain canvas and not wax it at all. You could just use some spray and spray it and waterproof it that way. It's more fun to do it this way, I think. It's funny when you watch the videos online. Oh, this goes on. Just you don't get this waxy buildup when the online videos. These guys, they do it well. You know, if you're an amateur, you're going to get the waxy buildup. So you're going to have to figure out a way to get that extra wax off of there. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So now our fabric is all waxed. The next thing you're going to do, you take some of this extra wax off of there, and we're going to see what this looks like when it dries. So you can plainly see on this piece of fabric that I waxed that there's a lot of extra wax on it. We're going to be taking that wax off. And so we're going to be using this hair dryer. This hair dryer will do two things. First of all, this hair dryer will heat this wax up and liquefy it and allow me to spread it out more evenly. In addition, as it heats it up, it's going to end up going off onto the paper towel that's behind this, and it'll that paper towel will help absorb some of the extra wax. In addition, as I go through this, is going to help the fabric, the fibers, to absorb that wax. So this is going to take a while, but I'm going to go ahead and start it, and then we'll show you what the finished product looks like. I'm going to start in the center and work my way out. You see how I'm melting that wax? And then I'll just spread it. Liquefying that wax now. And I can spread that wax out toward the edges. The hairdryer will actually blow that extra wax out of the way. So you can see how now that's a much more even texture and even spread to the wax. And that's a little shiny there because I just heated it, but it's going to be also just nice and solid brown like the rest of it. So it's not going to be real shiny and waxy the way it was before where you saw all the buildup of wax. That wax is spread around, it's sort of heated into the fibers. And now I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. So you'll notice that I've got a lot of paper towel here, and some of it's stuck to the back side of the fabric. That's okay. This paper towel, I'm not going to really throw it away. It's embedded with a lot of wax, so I'm going to keep this. It can be used for make a fire starter or something. Now, this wax that's stuck on the back of the fabric is not a problem because this paper, this paper towel, as I heat this, I'm going to be able to take that off very, very easily. And of course, it left a little pattern in there, but all that's going to go away as I heat this up. Well, that paper just comes right off of there. As you heat the wax up, of course the paper is no longer going to stick to it. It's going to be liquefied with the wax. I'm just spraying that wax evenly across my fabric. As this wax melts, I can just sort of scrape it right off that fabric, all that extra wax. You can see it builds up on the edge of my scraper. So I'm almost done, and as you can see, as I liquefy this, I'm using this scraper to sort of scrape it off the fabric. And you can see how much extra wax I'm peeling off of this. It's a lot of extra wax there. And getting this extra wax off of this fabric is going to make it a lot more supple and a lot more easier to work with. A lot more easier? No, it's a lot easier to work with. Okay, so you see these marks here and here and here. This is wax that was on the other side of the fabric. So as I heat one side, it's also heating through to the other side, and that's what's left on the other side. So what they don't tell you in a lot of videos is you have to go back and forth several times to get this fabric waxed the way you want it and consistently so that you don't get this leftover wax residue. So you can see I'm done with it now. I've got it all done. I got all the extra wax off of it. Both sides look really good. The wax is spread really evenly throughout all the fabric. It's still a little warm, so I'm still letting it cool. I'm flipping it over back and forth to let it cool gradually. This is going to be a really nice piece of waxed canvas now for me to use. And as soon as this dries, we're going to be able to take this and start working on making our drawstring foraging bag. You know, there are a lot of really good uses for waxed cotton or waxed duck cloth, waxed canvas, whatever you want to call it, in the bush. You might need it for some kind of a pouch to put your cook set in. You might need to use it as cloth to cover the ground if you're doing something. There's a lot of different uses for this. And so the ability to take regular cloth and turn it into a nice sheet of waxed canvas like this is a really useful skill to have. So we were able to take that just plain duck cloth using beeswax and paraffin and turn it into this. We're next going to take this and we're going to use this and turn it into a nice drawstring pouch that we can use to make a dump pouch for our bush belt. So if you like this video, what I want you to do is like the video down below. I also want you to subscribe to this video. And I want you to make sure and watch the videos that came before and the videos that are going to come after. We're going to teach you a lot of really neat skills on how to convert stuff like this into useful products. And I think you're really going to get a lot out of it. You're going to learn a lot. So in the meantime, stay strong, stay prepared, and have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.